Then looking at quarterback again. I saw my piece on Keats. It's just you hate to see the man's career end. I mean, again, it's bittersweet because I obviously would like if Keats come back for a seventh year. I understand that you don't want to come back for a seventh year. You're playing the best football you played in the Buffalo uniform. I get it, go out on top, but it's bittersweet knowing what could have been with Keats. Just the injuries were not there. You really have to wonder what if we're looking at the record books, where would Keats' name fall on that? Because I'm confident if Keats was healthy, he would be ranking among the best. I really am. If you watch Keats play, especially down the stretch this season, it was not flashy. And the coach said this numerous times about Keats. Keats is not flashy, doesn't look great all the time, but he gets the job done. And you have to respect the fact that in several games, Keats did everything he could to keep the team in the game. Going down to his final game, that final drive, he was able to get the team in fringe field goal range, given the circumstances, and again, he's just a solid all around quarterback, and I will miss Keith because it was always nice, sure, Will Collins was, had the win streak, right? Stephon, the physical specimen, right? Chandler Garrett was just a dominant runner. But, there was always, if that gets rocky, you always had Keats. And you knew what you were getting in Keats. And not having that safety net moving forward, it's going to make it more pertinent, though, that guys like Stephon Brown take the next step. JD Geneva, the guy that got redshirted out of Stillwater, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting, and again, all that's going to depend on who the next coach is, what schemes he brings in offensively. But you ideally would like to get the same Stephon Brown from week one. The same Stephon Brown from week one. It was the Stephon Brown I had hyped up at the signing day, watching those highlights on his Twitter page. Week one, you saw it, I saw it, everybody saw it. In that game, again, remember, if you listen to that, I said way back then, we don't want to jump the gun here. It is only one game. But what we saw in that one game was special. Okay, it just you cannot deny what was there was special, and I just think, and we can get Stephon back to that. The Stephon, he had a rough game against Emporia, a rough game against Missouri Southern. The Missouri Southern was tough because of the fact that both Marquise and Diego were out in that game. There was no deep threat. The offensive line at that point in time was not playing good football. It was tough for him, and I think what really got Stephon, and you appreciate it in the guy, tries to extend the play, but in the case of Stephon, I think he almost tries to extend the play too much, and it did result in some sacks. And when we look at the sack numbers here, not all of that was on the offensive line. Some of that was on Stephon. But just looking what we saw in that Missouri in that Missouri Western game, in that first half, the runs, the decisiveness, the way he runs, the arm. I mean, again, the throw to Marquise on that scramble drill touchdown, his feet were not set, and he threw a dime to Marquise on the run. It's probably top 5, top 3 pass I have witnessed in my 4 years covering UCO. And we could just get that on a consistent basis, then the offense can really take off, because there's no denying Stephon in the Brown game. But if we can focus on the passing, if we could do, well, I would compare it to, in a way, the Chandler Garrett from 2018, 2019. And if you recall the Chandler Garrett 2018, he led the upset over North Missouri State. It was probably his best passing outing of the season. He was very sporadic as a passer in 18. He comes back in 2019 and was a much improved passer, which in turn really helped open up the quarterback run game more, because teams just couldn't just say, okay, well, 16's in the game, it's going to be a run. No, they had to actually defend the pass, and I feel like if Stephon can take that next step, the same thing can happen with just more explosiveness. So I'm really curious to see how he develops heading in next season, as well as Jimmy Geneva and the other quarterbacks on the roster. Keith 151 of 249, which is 60.64% percentage, 1,682 yards, 8 touchdowns, 3 picks, along with 78. Stephon Brown, 58 of 101, 57.43%, 538 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks, along with 38. So again, we need that higher